Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're tackling a story that, well, it's really got people talking, hasn't it? Goes way beyond just a headline.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the recent news around Julie Fell's Masino and Cracker Barrel. And look, this isn't just about gossip. It really touches on some big things. Corporate responsibility, how public perception can shift so fast, and, yeah, the power of social media. Okay, let's unpack this.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is just how quickly everyone's attention snaps onto these, interconnected issues. You really need to look at it from, well, a few different angles to get the full picture.
Right.
So this deep dive, we're basically going to pull out the key bits from the sources you've shared, give you a shortcut to understanding it without, drowning in all the noise online.
Exactly. Our mission today is pretty clear. Walk you through what the controversy actually is, the specific allegations, then look at how everyone reacted, the company, the person involved, and crucially, what are the big lessons here?
Yeah, the takeaways.
So by the end, you'll get why this story matters, not just the surface level stuff.
Okay, let's do it.
Right, so diving straight in. The core of this whole Julie Fell's Masino Cracker Barrel thing involves allegations that just, well, exploded across social media. Our sources point to sort of two main things. First up, it kicked off with these screenshots flying around on what used to be Twitter.
Right.
They apparently showed Julie Fell's Masino, who's a, senior executive, had liked a pretty controversial post. It was from a well-known conservative commentator.
Okay.
And this post, well, a lot of people saw it as really insensitive towards diversity and inclusion efforts. That sparked immediate outrage online, particularly from certain groups.
And what's striking right away is the speed, isn't it? And the intensity. It just shows you the power social media has now to shape how people see things almost instantly.
Totally.
And it didn't stop there, did it? Because that initial, sort of prompted people to dig deeper into her past online activities.
Yeah, exactly. That's when the second thing popped up. An old comment she'd apparently made years ago. It was on some private online forum back then. And this comment seemed to, well, downplay the importance of certain social causes. Someone found it, pulled it out of whatever context it originally had, and boom, shared everywhere. Added a lot more fuel to the fire.
Wow. Yeah, that really highlights how careful everyone needs to be. Individuals, companies, everyone. That digital footprint, it can come back years later totally unexpectedly.
It sure did here. Now, our sources identify Julie Fell's Masino as, a pretty experienced executive. She's held big jobs in the food and beverage world before, and now she's tied to Cracker Barrel.
Right, so she's got a public profile.
Exactly. That profile, plus her position at a major national brand like Cracker Barrel, meant these accusations just got huge national attention. It wasn't just some private spat.
No.
The whole digital world just amplified these specific claims, putting both her and Cracker Barrel under this intense spotlight. Here's where it's really interesting. So that naturally leads to the company side of things. You've got these specific allegations swirling around an executive.
Yeah.
So the question for you listening is, okay, what did Cracker Barrel actually do?
Yeah, what was the play?
Cracker Barrel, everyone knows them, right? Sources call them a well-established American restaurant chain, distinct brand, huge customer base.
Yeah, definitely a household name. So our sources suggest their first move was, well, silence for about 48 hours, apparently.
Oh, really? 2 days?
Yeah, and that delay itself kind of became part of the story online. People noticed.
I bet.
Then after that, they put out a pretty brief statement on their corporate website. It acknowledged the public conversation, carefully worded, right? Said they take all concerns seriously and were reviewing the matter internally to make sure everything aligned with their company values. But importantly, no mention of Julie Fell's Masino by name, and no specifics about the posts. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, that response, or maybe the lack of a stronger one, just added more heat to the debate. Lots of criticism online, people saying it was vague, too slow, demanding they take a clearer stand, do something more decisive.
Right.
But then you also had others defending them, saying maybe it was smart not to jump in too fast, not get tangled up in what could be seen as, someone's personal opinions online.
A calculated risk, maybe.
Exactly. So the whole incident really becomes this, perfect case study in crisis management for big companies. It shows that tightrope they have to walk, trying to keep different groups happy while managing all the legal stuff and protecting their reputation.
Yeah, it's a crucial learning point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you're running a huge company or just managing your own online profile.
Definitely.
The pressure on a brand like Cracker Barrel, with its history and image. It must have been immense. Every little thing they did or didn't do was being watched so closely.
Oh, absolutely. The sources really emphasize that. It became a textbook example of how the response can define the crisis just as much as the initial event.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and really focus on the role of social media in all this.
Yeah.
Because you can't talk about this story without it.
No way. It's central.
It's undeniable, right?
Yeah.
Social media played a massive role, maybe the biggest role, in just blowing this story up. We saw information spreading incredibly fast. And often, like you said earlier, without anyone really checking if it was true or, had the full context.
Right.
Like that first screenshot of the liked post, sources say it was shared hundreds of thousands of times in just hours.
Wow.
Yeah, often with really strong reactions, calls for boycotts. All before Cracker Barrel had even put out that first statement.
What's fascinating here is it really exposes this fundamental tension we have now with information, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, on one side, social media gives us this, transparency. Voices get heard instantly. It can hold people and companies accountable fast.
True.
But on the other side, it's also perfect ground for misinformation, for things getting twisted, even for, targeted campaigns, like that older comment being pulled out of context.
Yeah, that felt a bit like that.
So you get this firestorm where stuff that's not verified or is missing context just takes off. It really highlights the need for all of us to be more responsible online. And crucially, to maybe pause and fact check before we hit share on something that could be really damaging.
It's not just about what you say, is it?
Exactly. It's what you amplify, what you repost or share. The Julie Fells Masino Cracker Barrel case is just such a stark reminder of the power and, the potential danger of social media today. Every click, every share, it actually matters. It has consequences.
It absolutely does. It really makes you stop and think about your own online habits, doesn't it? How often do we just hit share without really digging into it? This whole thing just shows the real-world impact of those clicks. Not just for the people directly involved, but for huge companies trying to manage their image. It's kind of like a wake-up call to be more conscious consumers of online info.
Definitely.
The sheer speed of it all, from one, to a national news story. It's just incredible how powerful these online communities are now.
They really drive the conversation.
So, okay, we've looked at the allegations, the company's reaction, the social media explosion. What's the next logical step? It's out of me. So what does this all mean? What can we actually learn from this, whether we're individuals or part of a big organization?
Right. The practical takeaways.
Our sources are pretty clear that this whole situation offers some really valuable lessons. It's not just some weird one-off thing. It's kind of like a blueprint for challenges lots of people and companies face now.
Precisely. And this raises an important question. How can we actually be better prepared for something like this?
Yeah, what did the sources say?
Well, they sort of boil it down to a few key things. First, communication. Needs to be clear and, importantly, timely. Acknowledge something's happening quickly, even if you don't have all the answers yet. Silence can be read really negatively.
Okay, makes sense.
Second, responsible social media engagement. Just really understanding that your digital footprint, it's basically permanent. And public, often, even if you think it's private, even small actions like a like could have huge ripple effects. Context gets lost so easily.
Yeah, we saw that here.
And finally, having proactive crisis management strategies. These aren't just, fancy terms for a binder on a shelf. They're practical necessities now.
What does that mean practically?
For individuals, it means thinking hard about what you post, what you endorse, understanding it could be seen by anyone, anytime. For companies, it means having a solid plan before a crisis hits. Because once it starts, things move so fast.
Yeah.
Every moment counts. Waiting to get all the facts perfectly lined up might mean you've already lost control of the story. That speed of information means a slow response often feels like no response, or worse, like you're hiding something.
That really came through in this case, didn't it? The perception of the delay. And these lessons, they're not just for CEOs, are they? They apply to everyone. In your career, managing a team, even just how you interact online personally.
Absolutely universal.
Clear communication, being mindful online, maybe thinking ahead a bit. It seems like basic stuff, but it's your best defense in this, pretty crazy digital world we live in now.
Yeah. It's less about what if and more about when, probably.
Yeah.
Building that trust online takes constant effort.
Okay, so looking ahead, Where does this leave things? It's easy to think these things blow over fast,
Yeah.
but the sources suggest the impact might linger.
Yeah, the news cycle moves on for sure, but the long-term effects of something like this, they often stick around. Our sources basically say this controversy undoubtedly leaves a lasting mark on the public image of both Fells Masino and Cracker Barrel. Public perception.
Gosh, it's so fragile, isn't it? Takes years, decades to build.
And seconds to damage.
Exactly. So the long-term consequences, while still kind of uncertain, could really impact their reputations, their business. Everything from customers feeling differently about the brand to maybe investors getting nervous, even things like hiring people in the future.
Wow.
Rebuilding that trust, changing the narrative after a big public blow-up like this, it's incredibly hard. Takes a long time and really consistent, authentic action. It's not just about issuing another statement.
Yeah, that's a really powerful reminder, isn't it? Public perception, once it's damaged, you can't just flip a switch.
Nope.
It takes real work, real effort to rebuild. And the shadow of these things can hang around, influencing stuff way down the line.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been quite the deep dive.
Yeah.
Really illuminating.
It's a complex one. So just to quickly recap the big points for everyone listening. We talk about the specific allegations around Julie Fells Masino, the social media like that old comment resurfacing. We looked at Cracker Barrel's response, kind of cautious, strategic maybe. We definitely hit on the huge role social media played in fanning the flames.
Yeah, the amplifier effect.
And importantly, those key lessons that came out of it about communication, crisis management, just being mindful online in this super connected world.
Yeah, and this deep dive, it really does highlight just how fast a story can break and just like consume everything, doesn't it? It makes you really evaluate how you take in information, how you react.
Totally.
It kind of challenges us all to think about the wider impact of every little interaction online, how context disappears, how stories get shaped, and honestly, how vital it is for people and companies to just be prepared.
Yeah.
It's that reminder that information, once it's out there, it just has a life of its own, and we all kind of play a part in guiding it responsibly, hopefully.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us on this really insightful deep dive.
My pleasure.
We really hope it's giving you, our listener, a clearer picture of this whole complex situation and maybe spark some thoughts about your own digital life.
Hope so.
For ongoing updates, if you want more details as this story potentially develops, you can always check out URBTnews.com.
Good resource.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed,
Yeah.
and keep engaging with the complexities of it all.